Welcome back to WTOL 11 Your Day. I'm Haley, and for some of us, a checklist gets us through the day. Let's find out how important it is to have one to get us through retirement. Joining me now is Josh Malley, a partner with Golden Reserve, a Toledo area retirement planning firm that helps people in or nearing retirement. Well, Josh, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me on, Haley. Good morning.
Awesome. So you're going to help us navigate this checklist, right?
I am, yeah.
Awesome. So what checklist items need to be on every retiree's list?
Well, I think every good checklist needs to start with probably a balance sheet and your goals. But unfortunately, a lot of what we see is that a retiree checklist generally starts with the fun stuff and kind of ends there, and they forget about some of the things that are sort of those hidden dangers, right? Those boulders that we talk about every once in a while that are going to come up and kind of nip at you during retirement. Things like taxes and long-term care and the fees that you're paying for your investments and the risks that you're taking. All that stuff should be on your retirement checklist as well. We have to focus on the dangers as well as the fun, exciting stuff.
Well, let's break them down. Why is long-term care so important?
I mean, when it's all said and done, it's the single biggest risk to your retirement. When you're coming down that retirement mountain, we can get everything else right, but if we make a mistake with in regard to long-term care, we're going to have trouble, right? So we want to make sure that we understand the costs. Could be well over $100,000 a year. 3, 4, 5 years needing that help that can wipe out a retirement nest egg. So people typically they just don't see it coming until it's way too late. And with that cost, it's just not something that you can plan for at the last minute. So the reason that we generally see that being overlooked is that people really think the only answer for long-term care might be insurance, and in reality they really probably should have an elder law attorney on their checklist as well, somebody that can help be a great solution and a great resource to create a plan to help kind of really mitigate what that long-term care boulder can do to you.
So how can tax planning help maximize our retirement?
Taxes are another sneaky boulder. I mean, most people don't think their IRA, they don't look at their IRA as a debt. And in reality, Uncle Sam's waiting to get their hands on a lot of that money that's in your IRA still. It kind of gets swept under the rug until we start seeing, one spouse pass away and the surviving spouse gets hit with what we call the widow's penalty, or that money then passes on to the kids and the kids get stuck with a kiddo's penalty. So that checklist should definitely have a tax map to make sure that we can navigate that tax boulder and plan for paying as little taxes as we can without subjecting our spouse and our kids to a high tax bill.
Now, you touched on this a little bit, but I want to dive in a little deeper. How can fees really make a big difference without us even knowing?
Think about your IRA that you have, or your 401k, right? If we have $500,000 in that IRA account that's built up over 20 or 30 years and you're having somebody manage that for you, you might be paying $10,000 a year in fees and not realize that. 1% to your advisor, 1% on the investment vehicles that you're using inside that portfolio. 2 fees and they really add up, and most people don't realize that. So the checklist definitely needs to ensure that we're removing those unnecessary fees and replacing it with low or no cost investments.
All right, and let's be honest, the market giveth and also taketh away. So what's the right balance?
Magic question, right? Not sure. There's really no right answer for anybody. I think the biggest thing that we can say with this is, it's the sleep well at night test, right? Does the risk that you're taking allow you to lay your head on your pillow at night and get a comfortable night's sleep without worrying about your investments? You certainly shouldn't be worrying about what the market's doing and what that's doing to your investments. So that answer just has to be right for you. But your checklist should definitely make sure that you understand 100% of what can go backwards in your portfolio. How much risk are you taking, and how much money could you lose if we run into a situation like we saw in 2008 or back in 2000 after the dot-com bubble? Understanding what risk you have in the portfolio is really the key to knowing what we want to do going forward.
For you at home, if you're looking to learn more about putting together your checklist for retirement, Josh has a great offer for you. Right now, for the first 5 callers with a portfolio of $250,000 or greater, he's offering a complimentary roadmap for retirement. This will allow Josh's team of retirement planners to sit down with you to assess where you are, then build a checklist that covers long-term care costs, taxes, investment fees, and market risks. It's your own roadmap to get down the retirement mountain safely. Call 419-749-6780.
Well, Josh, we touched a little bit on this special offer you have for us, but could you go into detail on what the viewers can expect?
I think really what we're going to expect out of this is just, do you have a plan, right? Do you have a plan for each one of these boulders? Do you understand your plan for taxes, your plan for long-term care, the market risk that you're taking, and the fees that you're paying? And if you don't, let us take a look through the portfolio for you. Let us take a look at your plan, kind of give you an idea of what we might be able to do to help.
Well, Josh, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, Haley.
And WTOL 11 Your Day, we'll be right back.